What's going on, y'all? I'm so excited. All right, I'm Shay. I'm with the Billy Gang, co-owner of Premium Billy. All right, one of the biggest brands in Detroit. If you didn't know, now you know. You heard. So the main thing we wanted to do was come on here today, and any other time that we come on here, we want to definitely tap into just looking at different interviews to help educate myself and other people. I'm doing reactions to these interviews. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and tap in. We got a special one for y'all today. We gonna do I don't know if y'all heard of it, Earn Your Leisure. I listen to them dang near every day. They drop a lot of gems. They have people on there that can provide a lot of information. The opinions that I give is either stuff I experience, my partner experience, you know what I'm saying, collabing with different investments, all those things in that nature. So, you know, it's advice. You could take it if you want it. It's opinions. So we don't specialize in these areas. We just, you know, putting our fingers in different things, creating 7 streams of income. Hopefully y'all tap in and want to join on this venture with us. The first video we're going to do is the Wallstreet Trapper video. This is one of the interviews that actually got me started with investing in stocks and starting to take it serious and seeing what it can do. And what I can say is this guy's story is amazing. You can follow him on Instagram. You can sign up for some of the things that he got going on. It's pretty lit. It's a good way to start off. It definitely, his story definitely motivates you to get there and just be like, damn, I'm just gonna do it no matter what. Because you know, you might be like, what is it? You might not know, but you get the hang of it. You just start to learn it. That's the most important thing. As you get going, you get more excited. The more you're in tune with it, the more you want to do it. All right, so this is Wallstreet Trapper. He's on Earn Your Leisure. Make sure you go check them out. They got a podcast, as long as you can catch them on YouTube as well. So let's go ahead and get started.
All right. So so this is an exciting episode because we covered stocks before, but we more on a surface level, like as like 101 education. So I think this would be a little bit more of an advanced conversation. And the guests, they have different backgrounds.
Yeah, everybody's path is different.
Everybody's path is different, and that's one of the things that we really like to highlight with the Earn Your Leisure podcast too. Is that it's so crazy because we have people that graduated from Harvard. We got people that come off the street corner, right?
School of Hard Knocks.
About to say it, man.
The beauty of it is that education can't be measured in just one particular way.
Right, it's limitless. Right? There's no walls to it.
Exactly.
Facts, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So my man Wallstreet Trapper is a perfect example of this. So
Sure.
I'll give the people a background.
One thing I want to say, something that's like that I struggled with was I was always taught to go to school. I went to school. I got a degree in communications. You know what I'm saying? So I know a little something about it. But the most I've learned was teaching myself and educating myself and finding different things and learning from other people. So I'm nothing against college. It's cool. Have a piece of paper. It's cool to say someone's qualified depending on what career you go on. But as an entrepreneur, my opinion, I feel like you can go without school. You could teach yourself. You can experience, you know what I'm saying? Experience life, experience other people. And they going to put you on. I'm not saying everybody going to put you on, but you can get put on. And just looking up, there's so much information out there right now that you can look up a lot of things on your own. You can get to the bag in so many different ways, but you know, it's up to you.
So you learned about the stock market while you was incarcerated.
Yeah.
Right. And then you came out and you was telling me that you was actually working as not a foreman. Is it an iron
worker?
Iron worker.
Yeah.
Iron worker.
Yeah.
But at the time you was like saving like 70% of your income, and you was invested in the stock market. And from there, you just, you know.
Let's stop and say this man just said 70% of his income, and he invested in the stock market with 70% of his income. I'm not at that level yet. I'm not at that level. Maybe I got a little, you know, I splurge a little here and there on other things. Not at 70%, but I definitely, you know what I'm saying, take out a nice amount per check and I dip it right into the stock market. Whether it's a dividend play or either I'm trying to get a capital gain play in the long run. But 70%, he lit for that, and that's a lot. You know, people say it's risk, but I mean, I guess you're gonna get the greatest reward when you take risks, right?
Developed a system that you put in place, and you were able to quit your job, and now you're a full-time investor, as well as you have an educational platform as well to teach people to invest. So it's an inspirational story for sure. So yeah, can we talk about that? So how did you get involved in the stock market, and how did you learn about stocks?
So I was in prison
For like 10 years, right?
I did 10 years for attempted murder on robbery.
Okay.
Right.
That's 16.
Yeah, I was 16.
Okay.
Yeah, I was 16, charged me as an adult. So I got in a fight with these 3 dudes in a cell with me. And they did what's called, they ran a train on me. So that's when you fight people back to back without a break. And I didn't win. It's 3 against 1, but I fought till I ain't had nothing left in me till the SARS come. Right, so I was bust up, but they were bust up, right? So I go to the hole, which is solitary confinement, and I'm in a hole with this white guy, right? And I guess it just was like on his brain because he just saw so many black people in there. Like real talk, it must have was just bothering him, yo. And he, like when I come in the cell, I'm like furious. I'm like, man, you know, like I'm still in that moment.
Yeah.
And he like, hey, bruh. He was like, y'all are playing the wrong game. And I'm like, you think it's a game, bro? This ain't no game, man. You see what we got going on around here?
Yeah.
But he was like, I don't mean no disrespect by it, but I'm like, well, you really being disrespectful right now, fam. Like, I ain't trying to hear that, fam. Like, you know, but I calmed down, you know, and he was like, I indulged in that conversation with him. I was like, so what do you mean?
Think about how many people that's out there that be looking at us shooting, robbing, and killing each other, and they just be like, dog, y'all playing the wrong game. Y'all minds is so far gone and so stuck in the gutter, you know what I'm saying? When it's so much more that you could be doing. Granted, they was locked up in the same space, but he's still looking at them like, bruh, you playing the wrong game. Y'all playing the wrong game, if you know what I mean. Y'all, you know what I mean? So it's just so much more that's out there.
And so he just told me, he was like, you in here for, you know, shooting somebody. The average person who's in here is on some drugs or shooting somebody, something like that. Y'all playing the wrong game. So I'm like, well, you in here with me, so what game you playing? So you can tell what kind of charge somebody on by the wristband. So if you're on a capital offense or a violent crime like I was on, you'll have a red band. So that's murder, attempt murder, carjacking, kidnapping. If you have a drug charge, it'll be an orange band. If you have a misdemeanor charge, it's a yellow band. And if you're a federal offense, it'll be a white and red band in New Orleans. So he had a white and red band, so I knew. So I'm like, well, what you in here for then? So he was in there for embezzling some money from his business, $2.8 million.
Those are the white collar crimes.
You dig? So he kept $800,000. No, he paid restitution of $800,000 and kept $2 million.
Did y'all hear that? This man only had to pay them back $800,000. This man kept $2 million. You know what I'm saying?
So I'm like, well, one thing about prison is if I see your paperwork, it'll tell me what you're in here for. So he showed me the paperwork, and I was like, oh, like that got my attention. And so he just told me 3 things that wealthy people do is they stop trading time for money, they give value to people, and they let their money work for them. And the best ways for you to make money is through the stock market, through real estate, and through a business. And that's me paraphrasing it. And because he told me the stock market first, that's what I went with. And so through the remainder of my prison sentence, I just educated myself about it. Because I don't know how this is gonna sound, but I just saw a whole bunch of white people on TV talking about millions of dollars all the time.
It's like foreign language.
Yeah, like I was like, yo, what is this, family? And so in prison, it's crazy because a bunch of grown men love to watch like The Young and the Restless, bro. Right? It's just crazy, like Guiding Light and stuff like this, but like they love to watch that. Yeah. So instead of making that a fight, I would get up before them and watch the stock market early, like 8 o'clock in the morning.
Like CNBC?
Yeah, I would watch CNBC like early in the morning. And I would be like, I just used to watch it. It was painful because I didn't understand it.
Yeah, a lot of numbers running across.
Yeah, I was like, what is this?
A lot of colors.
Had another dude was from Connecticut, and he used to get the USA Today. And so he used to let me look at his USA Today, and I would use that and look at the stock market back and forth. That's how I got the language started making sense to me. Because rather than reading the interviews, I got to read the actual business section of the USA Today. I got to actually see, without trying to record it in my brain, I would see it in the newspaper. And so once it became...
What I find most interesting about him is even when he didn't understand it, he found a way to understand it, to educate himself in that area because he knew it was something to it. It's a lot of times that we don't pursue it because we don't understand it. But us not pursuing it is really hindering us in life. It's a lot of things we ain't never gonna understand, but we got to see what it's about. We must educate ourselves in these areas.
Became like regular. I started reading Rich Dad Poor Dad, which I got introduced to by my homie. He was doing 20 years for manslaughter. So once I got into Rich Dad Poor Dad, it was a mindset shift more than a investment book. Yeah. And so the two aligned because I understood at that point, this is how we play the wrong game. Everybody I know how to sell dope. Everybody that I know, that's what they do. Mm-hmm. Even with my moms, I saw my moms get shot. When I was young, when I was about 9, I saw my moms get shot. And then right the next year, I saw my cousin get shot in the chest. So everybody I knew was in the same circle. And here are these people talking about stocks, ownership, millions, billions, and that shit just blew my brain. So I just stayed with it, and I got it, understood it. So that was me just getting into the stock market right there.
Dope. And then I guess from there, you just consumed as much information as you could.
Well, in prison, you got
nothing but time.
You got time. You got time, but you don't got time. Because you got time because I ain't going to no club or nothing, but I still got to work every day. So I work.
And in New Orleans, is not to cut you off, but in New Orleans, you actually work, right? Like I don't want to say chain gang, but you work outside.
Yeah. So I got transferred to prison.
Were you in Angola?
I went there for a little while.
Okay.
To help them with some sandbags. That's the penitentiary.
Yeah,
that's the penitentiary.
That's where C murder is.
Yeah,
right?
That's the penitentiary. But I was in two spots. One called Phelps Correctional Center, and then they transferred me for smoking weed. So they made me a high security risk. And so when I went to a maximum security prison, that's when I got on a chain gang. When they got a working cell block.
So they got a real chain gang still.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but they probably don't have it no more. But when you're on a working cell block, that's what you're doing. I cut trees down for about 190 days.
Wow.
How much you got paid?
8 cents
a day.
A day?
Yeah. No, 8 cents an hour.
A lot of our situations don't compare to his situation or what he went through, but it does compare at the same time off of the strength of. It's a lot of jobs out here that we're doing and we're not making what we're supposed to be making. And you could be putting in 40 plus hours, and then you don't see a big check. You know what I'm saying? Or you living check to check. So you just have to create more incomes. You got to think outside of the box.
One of the things about learning is that it becomes very exciting. And you can feel it in yourself when you grasp something. So I'm just envisioning as you're learning about stocks, right?
Yeah.
You're in an environment where it's like, the dude's really trying to learn, and are you trying to teach at that point, right? Like, how do you share all this wealth of knowledge? Are people like, I ain't trying to hear that right now?
I remember when me and my partner first got into stocks and just going and talking to a couple different people about it. They didn't understand it, you know what I'm saying? But I was so into it. Like he said, he was a sponge for it because it's so interesting. And then you watch your money every single day and you don't even have to do nothing. It's sitting there and it's working for you every single day. That's my favorite part about it. I probably check it on a daily, but I'm not stressed about it. If it's in the red, I know it's going to come back. If it's in the green, I got a bigger smile on my face. It just feels good. But a lot of people, they don't understand it. But then when the pandemic hit, then people wanted to oh, how you do stocks? You know what I'm saying? Teach me about them, da-da-da. And one thing I don't have a problem with is sharing the information, showing my portfolio. I I don't have a problem with it. I've been doing it for almost a year now. You know, I caught it right before the pandemic. It's not, you know, my portfolio is a work in progress. So, you know, I just look at it and I try to get the averages right, try to make it look right. You know, hopefully as this pandemic starts to wind down, it'll just get better. But, you know, just be a sponge for it. You don't have to overthink it. You know what I'm saying? It's better than your money just sitting in a savings account.
Again, not saying like I was just John Gotti or something in the streets. I was just a regular dude in the hood, just getting it out how everybody else get it out the hood. You know what I'm saying? So, but my perspective was different. So we learn from who we can relate to and who can break the message down the best. So for me, it was simple. Bruh, we like to wear designer clothes. I love Louis Vuitton. I love Gucci. I love Prada.
Don't forget Fendi.
I love Fendi. Love Fendi. And all my homies drink Hen. They're all owned, well, most of them are owned by a business called LVMH.
LVMH, yep.
Which the guy is like in the top 3 richest people in the world.
Yeah.
So if Louis Vuitton, Moet, and Hennessy own YSL, and they own Louis Vuitton, and they own Hennessy, and they own Moet, and this is what we buying in the club, it feel different when you own it. So I used to tell my partners, if we gonna go to the club, why not just own it, and now we flexing different. We stunting different, because now we own Hennessy. So every bottle you pop is your own business. That was intriguing to, you know, like, damn, son, like, real?
You got him.
I got him.
Now you got me.
And then
So the most interesting part is he was like, you know, you gain ownership when you buy into the stock. You owe a share. You know what I'm saying? You own a share of a company. And like he said, one of the things that helped me get into it was I started thinking about the things like I own all Apple products. I like to buy Nike. I like to buy Coke products. You know what I'm saying? Like he said, drink Hennessy. Like that's my type of thing, you know. Unfortunately, I don't own a share of Hennessy because I had to tap it into a different thing outside of Robinhood. So, but you know, one of the probably the first 3 companies or 3 or 4 companies that I bought was Exxon, which is like your gas stations. It's something to do with gas, and they pay a high dividend. I think I make they give me $7 every quarter just because of the amount of stocks I own. I own Coke. I drink Coke, so I bought Coke, and I know Coke ain't going nowhere no time soon. I bought Nike, and as of right now, I made all pros on them. I haven't lost money on those things, and I bought Apple, and Apple is an interesting stock because it worked out in my favor. I ended up buying them and got it at a good deal. So, you know, tapping into the things that you like, paying attention to what you wear, what you got on, just make sure it's things of value that you feel like they've been here for a while and they haven't gone. You know, do your research on it and find the companies that work. You know, gas ain't going nowhere. Gas ain't going nowhere. And that one's the ones that it ain't going, probably not going to hit like $100. But if you buy it at a good price, you can, in the amount that you own, you can make a good capital gain on it.
It was with Tim's, like this company VFC. Like they own Dickies, they own Timberland, they own Vans. So I would tell my homies, like, bro, we wear Tim's every day. We wear Dickies every day. Bro, let's own it. And they were like, what are you talking about own? I'm like, yo, like if you buy stock in the business, you are literally a shareholder.
You got a piece of the pie.
You got a piece of the pie, bro. So they bought into it. And so
one more thing. So one of the best feelings is driving past Exxon Mobil, or when you go buy a new Apple product, you be like, oh, I own this. I literally own a piece of this. You know, just like a lot of people out there, you own it. And the most important thing, just like real estate, is like in real estate, you want to own your property. Well, technically, when you buy into stocks, you owning a property. You know what I'm saying? You invested some money into that company because they take your money and put it towards whatever products may be coming out. So that's the most important thing. And it feels amazing when you can do that. You know what I'm saying? And man, that's probably like one of the best feelings. Not gonna lie.
Once they bought into that, the next thing was, yo, check this out. If you go to prison and you come home, you don't have no money. So now you scrambling again. You taking the chances again. Mm-hmm. But what if everything we hustle for, we put a portion of it in the stock market?
Yeah, because that was the initial purpose, right?
That was the purpose.
Like, yo, let me help
you clean money.
Clean the money.
Clean the money. Because we always looking for a way to clean money.
Right.
And they looking for us to have a laundromat, or they looking for us to have a car wash or a barbershop.
Right.
They're not playing us to be smart enough, and I probably be exposing the game right now. You feel me?
I ain't gonna lie, he definitely exposing the game. If you know what that world is like or anything that's like that, if you've been involved or if you know some people that's involved, this is one of the best moves for it. I ain't gonna say too much about it, but you know, putting your money into different places and it's not obvious, you know what I'm saying? And if you was to get sent that way, you have money waiting on you when you come back. And only you can touch it. So that's the best part.
Let's say you go do a 10-year bid and you done accumulated $12,000, $13,000, $15,000 before you got popped. Mm-hmm. If you go do a 10-year bid and your money in the stock market, when you come home, depending on how the stock perform, the market gonna averages 9 to 10%. Right. So your 10 bands or your 20 bands can easily be an extra $10,000 over a 10-year time span, and because you ain't do nothing with it and you reinvested everything. Mm-hmm. Now you ain't got to come home and scramble. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You don't have to come home and scramble no more. You literally beat the game. Or if you got to lay down for a long time, or you get killed, you left your people something.
And that's the one thing we don't think about. You know what I mean? Like, some of us don't have life insurance. Some of us don't think about if we don't make it another day, you know, a lot of people in our families will be left without. And this will position yourself to say, you know what, it's kind of like a hidden account that nobody knows about. And people, you could be gone and there'll be money left. You know what I mean? And we got to think it's more than just about us and us having it. It's about our little ones or even just our loved ones that's been around and supporting and holding us down. So just let that sink in a little bit. We gonna stop this one right here. We probably gonna end up doing 2 parts to this video. You know, I know people's attention spans be gone. You know what I mean? Even including myself. So we're gonna stop it right there. That's just a nice little intro to Wallstreet Trapper. You can find the whole interview on Earn Your Leisure's YouTube channel.